Hi again guys, I thought I'd put together a tutorial for the Dayan Wheels of Wisdom puzzle here that I unboxed recently. It's not too tricky to solve, but obviously there might be some people that are having some difficulties with it, so I'll put a tutorial together just in case anybody needs it. As you're probably aware, there are actually two different versions of this. There's this stickered version, black stickered as I've got, and there's also the stickerless version. There is a slight difference between the two, but this tutorial will actually work for both versions. I'll point out the slight difference when we come to it, but it shouldn't cause you too much trouble, that part of the solve, at all. So just get this scrambled up properly and then I'll make a start. I think I've solved this probably 4 or 5 times so far now. I did have an issue just today actually. 2 of the tiny triangular stickers fell off. One of them I've stuck back on, the other one I've lost, so I've replaced it with one I've cut from some spare sticker material, so fingers crossed none of them will fall off while I'm doing this tutorial. When I'm scrambling it, I try to make sure that all the pieces, as with any puzzle really, that all the pieces get split up from the pieces that they are adjacent to when the puzzle's solved. Obviously it's not always entirely possible, and for it to be a truly random scramble you don't have to worry about getting every single one split up. They will move around some of the other pieces if they are not completely scrambled while you're solving the other faces. So don't be too obsessive about it. But obviously you want a good scramble to get a solve that's as kind of challenging and satisfying as possible. Okay, I think we're getting close now. Got a couple of orange ones here that need to be sorted out. And I think I'm going to call that scrambled. Now before I start, I do apologise, my voice is a little bit hoarse. I've got a cold at the moment, and if I break into a coughing fit again, I do apologise for that. Okay, so what we're going to do, the way we're going to go about solving this, I'm sure you're aware, if you've had this for a while, that basically you've got a regular 3x3 with one of these wheels on each face of the 3x3. So the first thing we're going to do is solve the actual inner 3x3 with these corners. Now if you've got the stickerless version, that's the only place this will differ. With mine, basically I've got to just solve it like a 2x2 on the corners. If you've got the stickerless version, you are going to have to solve the edge pieces as well, but you should be very comfortable with solving a regular 3x3 if you're trying to attempt this puzzle. Anyway, this is definitely not something you should be attempting if you can't solve a 3x3 to start with. So I'm not going to go into any great detail about that. Basically I'll do what I always do, start on the white face. So I'll get the 2 white and red corners in position. I've got white, green and orange here that needs to be rotated. And the other white one, I seem to have lost it. Okay, that one in, so that's all my forming white corners done. So I just need to do the yellow, just as I would on a regular 2x2. As I said, if you've got the stickerless version, it will take you a little bit longer because you've got to do more like a 3x3, but yeah, shouldn't be too difficult for you. Typical, need to swap corners twice. So I don't know, have I messed that up? Maybe I didn't have to swap corners twice. Oh dear, that's new. had a pop. I haven't had that on this before. Let me just go away and fix that. I'll be back in a second. Right, sorry about that. That's a new one. I haven't had that happen before. Now that's messed me up. I don't know where I was now. So let's go back and fix my white side. And where was I on the yellow? That's first of all, I've had a pop on this. Never had that before. It wasn't bad. It only needed to be wedged back into place. I think took me about 10 seconds. So it's not like it was terribly difficult or anything like that. Yeah, but that's definitely a new one. Okay, so that's the inner 3x3 solved, as you can see. Next thing you need to do is line up your centres on the face they belong. So obviously just turn the white centre to the white face and have a look at the others, see where they do. As it turns out, they've magically, well not magically, accidentally all turned out into the right face. But you might have to do a horizontal turn on the E layer after you put the white and yellow in place to put the others in place. But obviously again, not a difficult thing to do. So now I start on the white face, as I said, just simply because that's what I always do. The first thing I'm going to do is get 4 white triangles around to make a kind of square shape on the centerpiece. So you can see I've got 2 there. I've got one on the left, one on the top. I need the one on the right. So I'll find one on an adjacent face, turn it to the side, and it can now come down to the white face. Turn it 145-degree turn, and then turn it back. Every time you do a turn on this puzzle, now that you've got the inner 3x3 solved, you need to move things out of the way that you've solved and bring that side back to resolve the inner 3x3. That way you don't mess it up while you're solving the other pieces. So once again, need another white piece on the one that's now on the right, and that will complete the square. So I've got the white triangle there, bring it down, 45-degree turn and take it back. With the 45-degree turn, that means that I didn't remove any of the ones that are solved with those white triangles now. So the next thing I'm going to do is to build up a full edge piece, which is made up of 4 pieces. You've got one little triangle, 2 of these kind of quadrilateral shapes. Let's call them kites. I'll call them kites for the purpose of this tutorial, and a wedge. So I've got a green kite, a yellow kite, a blue triangle, and an orange wedge. Those are 4 pieces that I'm talking about when I say I want to make up a whole edge. So obviously they need to be white. So the first thing you need to do is find a kite and match it up with a triangle. So you can see I've got a white kite here, I've got a white triangle there. If I turn the white triangle to the bottom left of this face and put the white kite at the bottom left of this face, so that it's on the left hand edge, so that when I do an L turn, it does move, and then turn it up, you can see it does match up with that triangle. Turn it 45 degrees and bring everything back. We then need 2 more pieces. We need a kite and a wedge paired together. Now I can see I've got a kite and a wedge here, but you can see they're actually the wrong way around. You see, if I had the wedge on the bottom, I'd need the kite on the right of it. If I put this wedge on the bottom, the kite is on the left, so I need a different kite and wedge pair. Now first of all, let's see if we've got any others paired up anywhere. Got one there, but again that's the wrong way round. So, and another one there, which is the right way round. Okay, so you can see you've got a wedge and a kite, and if I put the wedge at the bottom, the kite is on the right, which is where it needs to be. So all I've got to do, if I line that up on the right edge as I'm looking at it right now, and put the the kite and triangle I've already paired at the bottom here, you can see that when I turn the right face, it does match up with them. So that's what I'll do, turn them so that they're all together, move it 45 degrees out of the way once again, and bring the inner 3x3 back. So now I've got a whole edge piece, and I can just turn that over to the white face. So it's opposite. You need to turn it so that the white face is, the square doesn't get moved, the 4 little triangles we've already done, and just move the edge piece into place, turn it out of the way, and turn all of this back, so our inner 3x3 is still solved. We're then going to do another one of these full edge pieces. So let's find another white triangle, got one there, need to match it up with a kite. So let's use one of these just as it's there on the adjacent face. So match a kite up with the triangle again, move it 45 degrees and bring everything back. Once again, I then need a wedge and a kite. This time the kite needs to be on the left of the wedge when it's at the bottom, and I can see straight away with this white, and I've got this white wedge here with a white kite already touching it on the left. So let's move these over to the left hand face. We can then turn this 45 degrees so that when I do turn that left face they all match up, and once again I've got a complete edge piece. So once again we need to turn those to the white face after I've reset the inner 3x3. So move it over to the right because I can see that that's where it needs to be, because I want it opposite the one I've already put in place. So turn that up to the white face, turn everything out of the way and bring the inner 3x3 back. You can see I've now got a complete stripe down the centre of the white face. Excuse me. So next what we're going to do is build up entire strips, which is a 4-piece edge piece, as I've just been doing building up the other two, but this time we will add the corner pieces to each end of it as well to make an entire strip that will fill this side. So we start off exactly the same way, find a white triangle, attach a kite to it. So I've got this white triangle here and I've got a kite on this face. With them both on the bottom right, I can turn it up and match them up, turn it out of the way, bring everything back. I then need the wedge and kite, with the kite attached to the left of the wedge when the wedge is at the bottom of the circle. So we haven't got any pairs made up now, so I need to make my own. So if I put this kite, the one that's at the left of these two, at the top, and turn this corner up, that won't work because then they'll be the wrong way round. No, they won't. I'm talking nonsense. That's the right way around. So turn them out of the way and bring everything back. Now they're on the same face as the kite and triangle are. So if I put them at the top of the right hand face here, turn the right hand face out of the way. Don't worry about this because we're going to bring everything back, so don't worry that you're breaking the white face at the moment. Turn those out. Turn this wedge and kite pair out of the way. Bring the kite and triangle around so that they're not on the right face but they're right adjacent to it at the top, and then when I bring this face back you can see that that makes up a full edge piece. Do a 45 degree turn to move it out of the way. We can see we've fixed our white face. Now half of my corners are on the white face, so let's just grab one of those. If I do a 90 degree turn there, then put the white wedge at the top right and do an R prime, you can see that that matches that up with the edge I've already made. Move that out of the way, take everything back, and then need a corner on this side. So I need to get these two wedges off the white face, so let's start with that. We'll bring this down to the yellow face, move them out of the way, take everything back, and then I can just use one of these white corners on the top left, match it up with the strip we're doing, move those out of the way and bring everything back. And now we can put that on the white face. So if we just bring the one of the slots where it belongs down within R prime, you can see that when I do a 180 degree turn it matches up with the two white corners from the white face, so when we take it back it goes onto the white face. So finally we just need to do one more strip exactly like that to finish off our white face. So let's match this triangle with this kite, pair them up, move them out of the way, bring everything back. We then need a wedge with the kite on the left. Now where's my last kite? There. So if we put the kite there and bring a wedge there, when we put them together, actually that's the wrong way around. I said a wedge with the kite on the left, didn't I? So I need to do it the other side. So let's do it there. Bring this wedge around to the bottom, and then when I bring this down that gives me a wedge with a kite on the left. Move them out of the way and bring everything back. So now we match those up with the kite and triangle that we've got over here. So Put them there next to the L face, but they don't turn with the L face. Put these two at the bottom of the L face, so that they do turn with the L face, and take everything round to match up. Move that edge out of the way and bring everything back. So the white face is still solved. Now we just need to match up with the final two corners, which is very straightforward. It's on the bottom edge, so to put the wedge on the bottom edge, match it up, move the thing out of the way, take it back, and this corner on the bottom left, sorry, wedge on the bottom left, line everything up, move it out of the way, take everything back. And now just got to insert this on the white face. So put the slot where it belongs there, bring it down, put the strip in between the two white corners, take it back, and the white face is complete. So as you can see, it's not too difficult to make up a face. All we're going to do now is continue in that same vein. We're going to do 4 more faces, all adjacent to each other, so they do one strip around the puzzle, leaving 2 opposite faces at the end. So just as random choice, we're going to start with the red face now. I can see I've got 2 triangles in opposite each other, so I need 2 more red triangles. I've got one on the left here, so once again bring it down, turn it 45 degrees, take it back. That gives us 3, and we're trying to make a square again. So what I will do, I don't want this triangle on here because I'm going to need to match things up with that. So what I will do, I'll put that there on the right face, move it down out of the way, put the slot it belongs in over on the right face, gone too far, and bring it back. That makes up that square, and we haven't got any other red triangles on there that we need to separate off at some point. Now you can see I've actually got kind of a full edge piece here, so what I will do actually is take that away and save it over here, because then we can just slot that in when we need it, and I'll take a little triangle from a different face to make my square. Now you want to make things as efficient as you can, so I've got a little triangle here on the right now, gap on the square on the right, match them up, try not to make it pop again, of course. Do a 45-degree turn, take everything back. Just check periodically to make sure you haven't messed up your inner 3x3, just to be certain, because it's easy to forget to turn everything back occasionally. So I've got my full edge here, so let's just slot that in alongside my square, turn it out of the way, take everything back, and then we just start building up pieces exactly the way we did before. So then, next we need to do is match up a red triangle with a red kite. So you can see I've actually already got a pair there. You'll find you will have these on your puzzle because there's obviously lots of each piece, so you will find pairs from time to time. I then need, let's do it the same way we've been doing all the others, I need a wedge attached to a kite with the kite on the right of the wedge. So let's see if we've got, and I can see I've actually got one right here, wedge, kite on the right. So put the triangle and kite pair next to the R face, so they don't move with the R face. Put the kite and wedge pair on the R face, do an R, that matches them up, 45-degree turn to move them out of the way, bring everything back. So once again, just put this completed edge piece on the red face opposite the other one, so we've got that central strip, move everything out of the way, bring everything back. So again, same as we did on the white face, we're going to create an entire strip this time. So we start off exactly the same. Once again, match your kite up with a triangle. I'm looking for one. I've only seen a couple of triangles. Where's all the other ones? Of course, there's only 2 left, isn't there? Duh. Right, so let's start with this triangle here because that's on a different face. Put it up there. We can then match this kite with it. Move it out of the way. I'm going to deliberately separate this wedge from it. Bring everything back. We then want a wedge with the kite on the left of it. So let's see. If we put this this kite up here and this wedge at the top left of the other face, bring that down to match up, move them out of the way, take everything back. I've now got that what I needed, a wedge with the kite on the left of it. Put the wedge and triangle at the bottom left without actually being on the left face. Put the wedge and kite on the left face at the bottom. pair everything up, move them out of the way, bring everything back. So as you can see, we're basically just repeating the same process over and over again, not too difficult. So once again we need our wedges on the edge of this, so I'll put it at the top so I can match up this wedge, turn them out of the way, bring everything back, and top left goes to the top left, so pair those up, move them out of the way, take everything back. So that's our strip complete. We can now put that on the red face. The other way of doing this is like this. You can move it up to the red face, do a 180-degree turn of the red face, and then bring everything back. So you can do it the way I showed you before, or you can do it that way. It works either way just as well. So one final strip. So where's my last red triangle? It's here, and it's happily matched up with a kite already. So we need a wedge with a kite on the left. So where's my kite? There. So this needs to be over here, so we'll put the wedge to the right of the kite. Got a wedge here, move it round to the bottom right of this face, so turning it down, put it next to that kite, so the kite is on its left, move them out of the way, take everything back. Now we need to match those up with my, where is it, the triangle and kite, move them next to the left face, put these two on the bottom of the left face, and pair them up, move them out of the way, bring everything back. So finally, of course, all we've got to do is put our last two wedges in. This is on the bottom left of the face, so turning it up matches them up, turn it out of the way, take everything back, and finally my last wedge is on this face, so put them on the bottom of this face, put that on the bottom right of that face, and pair them up. Take everything back. And to follow on the way I last showed you to put the other strip in, you put it on the right face on the same side as the one that's already in, turn it up into position, 180-degree turn, bring everything back, and that's our red face complete. And remember, just quick check, our inner 3x3 is still solved. So move on to the yellow face, do exactly the same again. Do our square with the little triangles on the centre. So I'm going to move this little triangle out of the way first, because once again I don't want it to stay on the yellow face. It's easy to work with if it's not there. Oop, not quite sure of the right position. Put it back there, and the last one is on the right. We've got a full edge piece there, so I don't want to split that up. I'll leave that one as it is for now. So I'll find one in a different face. So I'll use this one. Both on the right, put the triangle in, 45 degrees, take everything back. So as I said, I've already got an accidental full edge piece there, so I'll put that in place, move it out of the way, take everything back, and we need one for opposites, so as always, find a triangle and match it up with a kite. I've already got one there, so I need a wedge with a kite on its right. That rhymes. I haven't got one of those. The two I've got are on the left, so I need to put another one opposite it, a wedge. So let's put a wedge at the bottom left of this one, and when I turn it down it matches up with that kite. Turn it out of the way, take everything back, so now I've got a wedge with a kite on its right. Take my triangle and kite to the bottom, so they're next to the right face but not on the right face. Put these on the right face, and as we turn them together they match up, move them out of the way, take everything back. So once again, turn the yellow face so that when we add this full edge we've got that strip down the middle one more time, so match them up, turn the solid stuff out of the way, bring everything back. So once again we need to make a full strip now. So let's find a triangle, see if anything's matched up with a kite. Doesn't look like it is, so we'll use this little triangle, this kite here, matched up to a pair, and then need a wedge with a kite on the right. This one's the wrong way round, so once again I'll put a wedge on this side of this kite. So that kite's on the bottom left, but without actually being on the left face. This is in the bottom left of the left face. Turn it up, move it out of the way, turn it back. So I've got a wedge with a kite on the right, and match that up with the triangle and kite. And happy accident, it's brought a wedge with it on the end, so we only need to find one for the other end. Put it on the bottom left here, match it up, turn it out of the way, take everything back. So put that on the yellow face, same way as we've done all the others. Line it up with the slot it belongs, 180 degree turn, bring everything back. And also the last strip, there's a little triangle, so let's put it there, and then we can match it up with this kite. Need a wedge with a kite on the left, so this is my final kite, so need a wedge in there. So match those up. What I'm going to do is deliberately turn those onto the right face, so they go back up when I turn my inner 3x3 back onto this face, and that way I can turn them around here to the bottom left on the left face, and I can then match them up, turn them out of the way, bring everything back. So then obviously I just need my wedges. There's one matched up, take everything back. My final one is round here, so over to the right face, match it up, out of the way, everything back, hopefully without popping again. Don't know why it's suddenly started doing so much catching. It's always done a little bit, but it's not normally quite this bad. And put that strip on the yellow face, so I'll line it up with the other strip, put it in position, 180 degrees, bring everything back. So that's three of our faces done. That's white, red and yellow, and we're going to move on to the orange face. So once again, exactly the same procedure. Make a square around the centre with little triangles. I've got two in position, so I'll put a right face here so I can move this little orange triangle here. I haven't got any fully completed edge pieces this time around, so just making sure before I start, just in case I accidentally split it up. Bring everything back, and another triangle, 45 degrees, bring everything back. And that has happy accident made a complete edge piece, so let's move that out of the way, and we'll use a little different small triangle. So let's put that on that face, bring a small triangle around to here, and bring that one into position. Do a 45 degree turn, and we can then put our edge piece in, move everything out of the way, and take it back. So we've got once again a free completed edge piece. I've got any triangles matched up with kites. It doesn't look like I have, so that's the first thing we need to do. Let's use this kite on the bottom here and match it up with this triangle, so put that at the top left, turn that up, move it out of the way and bring it back. So I need a wedge with a kite on the right. Have I got any already piled up? I obviously have here, because this has got both. What about this one? Wedge with kite on the right. That actually works fine. So put it over the right hand side again, so that it's not actually on the right face. This is at the bottom of the right face. Bring it up, you see it matches up, move it out of the way, take everything back. So this edge piece can now go in position on the orange face. Everything out of the way, bring it back. So we've now got our central strip. So one more time, we make complete strips. So let's use this triangle with, oh, that's not right, but it needs to be there, with that kite, move it out of the way. Actually, I'll leave that one in position, because that can be my end wedge piece once I've made up the complete edge that way. So I need a wedge with a kite on the right. So if I put my kite here, and use this wedge here actually. Yeah, I've now got a wedge with a kite on the right, out of the way, bring everything back. Need to put those together. So once again, put those next to the right face, but they're not moving, and then when I bring those down, they pair up. Move it out of the way, take everything back, and of course now I just need 2 more wedges on the end of that edge piece. So this one's on the bottom, so that can now match up. Out of the way, take everything back, and this one on the bottom, make sure our strips on the bottom match it up. Out of the way, take everything back. Now make sure when you're doing this that you don't turn any of the bits you've already solved. That's the thing you've got to watch for when you're, especially now you're getting down to the last few pieces. Don't accidentally turn, say, part of the red face onto the side you're working on and turn that, because obviously that will break your solved red face and orange faces too. So you'll see that you'll end up turning 180-degree turns between each. You'll be working on this face and this face, 2 opposite faces, because obviously you can't really be turning the orange face either. So anyway, let's put this strip in. So turn it into position, 180 degrees, bring it back, and let's just take this wedge piece off of this face, because we can't really work with it while it's on the orange face. So put it up here, move it out of the way. It's not really working that, so oh, actually there's a strip there. I was looking for a strip that didn't have any orange pieces on and bring that back. So one final time for the orange, we need to match a kite up with a triangle. So there's my triangle, there's my kite, and lining up, then it won't pop. Match them up, out of the way, bring everything back. I need a wedge with a kite on the right. My final kite is down here, but the kite's on the left of the wedge, so I need a wedge on the other side. So put it on the bottom left, with the kite next to the left face, and match them up, turn them out of the way, take everything back. So now I can put those over here on the right face, put my triangle and wedge next to the right face, and turning that lot up pairs them up. I'll put the whole thing on the right face again and take everything back, and that way they're on a different face to my final wedge piece, so that I can insert that as easily as possible. So it's down at the bottom left, match them up, turn them out of the way, take everything back, and once again line it up with the orange strip that's already in, turn it into position, 180 degrees, and take everything back. So that's all 4 faces around the centre done. So now all we've got left are the blue and green faces, but now obviously this is probably the trickiest part of the solve, but if you follow very similar process to what we've already been doing, you'll see that it's not actually that difficult in the end. Now, I can see that I've actually already got a square on the green face, so I'm going to work with that one just because it's already done. But what I'm actually going to do is, because I've already got a completed edge piece again, I will replace that with a triangle that's not part of a completed edge piece. So move that down, do a 45-degree turn, and bring it back, and you can see that completed edge piece will go into position. So now I need another one over this side. Okay, so I've got a triangle and kite together there, so then I need a wedge with a kite on the right. Have I got anything like that already? Yes, I've got one here that's matched up, but what I need to do is get it down to here. Now this will damage my square of triangles, but I'm not going to worry about that too much for now. I can put one back easy enough. So I've got a wedge with a kite on the right, which I can match up to make a full edge piece here. Turn it out of the way, take everything back, and now I need to complete my original square of triangles again. So what I'm going to do is take this little triangle here that's in the wrong position away, rotate this face and bring it back, and that gives me my square back, and now that completed edge piece can come down here. So put it on the right hand side, put it onto the green face, 90 degrees to move them out of the way, and bring everything back. So that's my central strip, and now of course I need to make up the 2 full strips on the outside. So as always, I need a kite with a triangle. I've got a kite with a triangle there, so I need a wedge with a kite on the left. Where can we make this. Okay, so we've put that what I need is a wedge piece on the bottom right of this side of my green face. So let's just turn this face, this part up, put a wedge piece at the bottom right and turn it back without breaking up my wedge and triangle. So there, I've now got a wedge piece on the bottom right. I can then put my kite in position here, so that when I put the wedge up on the bottom right, it matches up with it. So I've got that wedge with a kite on the left of it that I need. So match those up. I'm going to turn them so that they are on the top right of this of this blue face, so that they're going to go back to the green face for a minute, and they're going to be at the top right. So my wedge with kite on the left is here. I can then put my triangle and kite pair at the top left here, so that when I bring the kite and wedge back, they match up, make a full edge piece. So I can now turn them out of the way and bring everything back. And now I need to put wedges with that pair. I can see I've got one on the bottom left of the green face, so let's put the full edge piece at the bottom there. I can match that up, turn it out of the way, bring everything back, and I then need one on either the top right or bottom left of the green face. So if I put the entire strip here, I can't destroy it while I'm turning this blue face. So do a 180-degree turn, and I said I wanted it on the bottom right, didn't I? So I put it on the bottom right of this face, a wedge, and take everything back. Turn the strip into position to receive that wedge on the bottom right. Bring it round. You can see that completes my strip. And since I did a 180-degree turn, I can actually turn that strip between the two green corners. And then when I take everything back, that completes it on the green face. So all I've got to do now is one last strip. And obviously once we solve the green face, the blue face is automatically solved. So we don't need to worry about that too much. So I need to pair up this kite with this triangle. So what I need to do is take the kite down to the green face if they were both on there, but as it happens I've got one on the green face, so just turn the triangle down to here next to the bottom right, because the kite is at the bottom right of the green face and there's something attached to my cube. So then when I do a 180-degree turn there, you can see that the kite and the triangle match up. Turn them out of the way, take everything back. I then need a wedge with a kite on the right. So I need to do it so that the wedge comes into here. So what I need is a wedge on the bottom right of this face. So let's, with the kite and triangle out of the way, let's turn this wedge to the bottom. But what I need to do is bring the slot from the green face up, turn this wedge to the bottom left. I think I said bottom right before, but obviously I meant bottom left, and bring everything back. So now I can bring my kite around to receive this wedge at the bottom left. Now you can see that the kite and triangle are actually on this left face, but that's not a problem, because as I bring this wedge around, that actually works quite well, because it puts the kite and triangle on the green face for a moment out of the way, so that when I rotate this out of the way, it doesn't get destroyed. But what I'm going to do is put the bit that I've just solved, the wedge with the kite, onto this left face, and keeps it separate from the kite and triangle, so that now all I've got to do, actually I need to do that again because I need them at the top left of this face, so they're on the top of the left hand side of the blue face. Bring them back, and that way I can put my kite and triangle here ready to receive them, turn them up, they pair up with the kite and triangle, move them out of the way, and take everything back. Now I can see that the slot that I need will be on the bottom left of of the blue face. So if I put this wedge on the bottom left, and when I take it back, I can then put the strip on the bottom of this face. The slot is on the bottom left. Turn the final wedge into position. I've got my 2 green corners there. Turn the strip between the 2 green corners. Take everything back. And that's it. That is the Dayan Wheels of Wisdom solved. With just one minor pop. Plenty of catching. And no stickers lost, which is a bonus. Alright then guys. If you've got any questions about this video, then please feel free to ask them. But hopefully that's giving you a good idea how to go about solving the Dayan Wheels of Wisdom. A very fun puzzle. I enjoy solving it a lot, but as you saw, it's not horrendously difficult. But yeah, it's a great puzzle. It looks fabulous, and anybody who sees it pretty much marvels at it because it looks so complex. So yes, alright then guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care now. Bye.